And Irene, I will be talking to the head of the head of air quality pollution, who will be talking to us about the project that they have actually proposed today that will curb the menace of air pollution in Nairobi. Thank you. Welcome, and thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us.
Yes.
So your name and the position that you hold, and the project that actually proposed today on the clean air catalyst that intends to curb the menace, the air pollution menace in Nairobi.
Thank you, Jael. My name is George Mwaniki, the head of air quality at World Resources Institute Africa, and we have brought in one of a very big project in Nairobi that aims at addressing air pollution challenges in the city. It's called the Clean Air Catalyst, and it's focusing on really supporting the county government of Nairobi to take action to reduce air pollution. As you might know, in Nairobi, the number one driver of health care cost is actually upper and lower respiratory diseases, which is very closely linked to air pollution issues. And the project is going to try and address some of that. Nairobi also, we are losing around 8,000 people every year because of air pollution, and we need to also try and address that. So the project is really focused on working with the county government and other stakeholders to reduce the pollution levels in Nairobi.
And you've talked about mapping out specific areas in Nairobi. So what are some of the things that you did to ensure that actually these are the areas that have been mapped out that has been hugely affected by air pollution?
Very good question. One of the things is Nairobi does not have enough data on air pollution or air quality levels. So what we did, we actually mapped out the city in terms of various pollutants, and we mainly use satellite data to look at the city and some of the areas that are heavily affected. And some of the areas are mainly in the Eastlands areas, and some of the drivers of air pollution in the city is mainly vehicles, waste burning, industrial emissions, and also using biomass-based fuels for households. So we have mapped those areas, mainly in the eastern part of Nairobi. We are going to be establishing several monitoring stations to see what are the levels of emissions, and then hopefully that data will be used by the county government to inform their decisions to reduce emissions in the city. And
maybe my last question would be, you've talked about the program running for 5 years. Why 5 years? And are you also planning to, what are some of the mechanisms that you're going to put in place to ensure that you also curb the air pollution in other parts of the country apart from Nairobi County?
Very good question. The reason we are running this for 5 years is mainly most of the projects on air pollution in Nairobi or in Kenya have focused on the research part, just understanding who are the major drivers and what are the levels of emission. But this project is a little bit innovative, and it wants to go beyond monitoring emission levels, but also focusing on actions. I have to say this is a pilot project. So once we work on it with the city and see the progress, then it will be very easy to make a case to USAID and other partners on how we can expand these countrywide, and hopefully we'll be able also to capture several other countries in Africa.
Thank you so much. And maybe, Irene, one more person will also be talking to Dandora 2 member of County Assembly, Honorable Matara Ongwae. Actually, Dandora is the epicenter of pollution, and having him here, maybe he can tell us about some of the mechanism that him as the member of County Assembly is going to put in place to ensure that the project that has been initiated may actually be success. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Mheshimiwa Matara, representing Dandora 2 ward in Embakasi North Sub-County. And first is to appreciate the engagement that we're having here with multi-sectoral partners from the international community and private sector. And you realize Nairobi, we've already done the air quality policy, and we've already have an act in place which was published, gazetted last week. And as an assembly, ours is to just sort out the legislative issues, because we are moving to the next stage after they've done the monitoring part of it, and they've done a report which they're going to make it available to us, which will inform our planning priorities towards alleviating the effects of air pollution, because you realize the places that we get to lead, especially in the poor backgrounds in the east of Nairobi. People are really suffering in terms of air pollution and its attendant effects, because it really affects the health of the people that we get to lead. So we are trying to put measures in place to ensure that we give the necessary support, and we are, after the report is tabled to us, we are going to do the regulations which are going to give life to the acts that we passed, and we are going to involve the community through sensitization programs to have their input towards achieving the desired result, with the blessings of our able Governor Sakaja, which he has given the political goodwill which is important towards achieving the results as a sector that we are prioritizing on.
Okay, that's it from me here, Irene. Back to you in studio.